Welcome to Oakland, California. Welcome inside the booth for the Bay Area Falcons facing off against San Diego Super Bloom. I'm Jonathan Weiner, joined by Lawrence McKendall. Lawrence, glad to be back with you in the booth once again. And it's a great game that we should have in front of us. The undefeated Super Bloom coming to visit the Bay Area, who are back in action since their big 18-10 win over Seattle.
I agree. This is an exciting contest to see the Falcons, what they do against such a high-powered team like Super Bloom. Super Bloom 4-0, looking for 5-0, and interested to see how it rolls out today.
Yeah, it should be a good one. We have some good weather here in Oakland, California. Sunny skies, a bit of wind earlier, but seems to have died down a little bit. And teams are starting to get set in terms of the openers and the lineups. And got a few changes, some notable players that we're going to shout out. But first, an overview of the season structure. And we're going to talk about sort of the way that the season has played out, in case folks are tuning in for the first time for the Western Ultimate League. So we're going to be seeing a schedule here shortly, and it's a 6-game season, 2 conferences, Southwest and Northwest. And again, this is the Falcons' 3rd game of the season. Plenty of noise coming in from the outside. So we're having a 6-game season. I already said that. What are we looking for in terms of where the Falcons are at in sort of their lineup, right? Only 3rd game of the season, still figuring things out, still getting settled into the course, while San Diego already 4 games played.
So, I mean, right now, let me navigate some of the stuff that you're sort of setting out the table. One, you've got Super Bloom coming in here that have demonstrated early in the season they can win on the road, win at home, they can win from start to finish and go back and forth to the team, or they can come from a deficit like they did in Arizona last week. They were down by 4 with 10 minutes left, and they manufactured 8 points in the 4th quarter to pull out a win. So this is a very solid team. Falcons coming in with 2 games under their belt. We don't know the identity of the team, and we're trying to figure out what they are. And this is a young, exciting team. Talking to Coach Slap, Coach Manisha Dayani, this is about family. This is a family. This team loves one another. Still trying to figure out, I'm going to say in my own words, what the dynamic of this team is, who's going to step up, and this is the challenge to see if they're going to make a signature win. This is where the line is drawn to go. This is where the Falcons. Beautiful weather, home field advantage with home cooking, and I'm definitely eager to see who steps on the field today. Puts 4 consistent quarters on the field like they did against Tempest the last time we're on the field. That's what they'll need in order to perform against Super Bloom.
Yeah, I just had a quick look at the standings. As mentioned, San Diego 4-0 on the season, plus 7 point differential. Falcons just the 2 games so far. Top 2 teams advance to championship weekend. Thing is, Lawrence, San Diego has already qualified 4-0. They are guaranteed to make championship weekend at this point. With a win on the road here tonight, they would advance as the top team in the Southwest. For the Falcons, nothing guaranteed quite yet, with again only 2 games played, but a win tonight would put them in much better position looking ahead to their pair of games against the Arizona Sidewinders, who are sort of hanging out waiting for the chance to take on the Bay Area. And getting some of the teams introduced, Falcons out on the field, Super Bloom as well. So it'll be interesting to see. And I will say, if you're the Falcons, this game is strangely not a must-win, because the games against Arizona are what's going to matter at the end of the day. You obviously like to win this, but it is not an absolute necessity in the way that it might be with the way that the schedule has been slightly imbalanced so far this season, and with Super Bloom's success. Despite the 2 teams, 4-0 San Diego, plus 7 point diff. Falcons, 2 games, 1-1, plus 6 point differential. A pretty wild contrast between the 2 squads in terms of rosters, but then the similarity in their point diff.
By the way, you must have been good at math in school because you're knocking that all out amazingly, which is good. So it's interesting you're saying this is not a must-win. You're right. Mathematically, I'm an emotional sort of person. You're sort of gauging, if you're going to look for, measure yourself against any team, this is a great one. Because right now, my general view is the championship's running through San Diego. And you're going to not only have to beat San Diego here, at home, and championship weekend. This is someone you need to win and figure out a way on different levels to beat this team. And right now, Super Bloom are down 2 main players. We've got, looking at my notes here, we've got Kelly Iwamoto is not here and Kristen Pajonas is not here. And they've got college regionals, and they've got a wedding. So they've got other things happening. They're drawing some of their main cogs off the field. So a number of things are lining up that really put the Falcons in a nice position to make the uphill battle easier.
I hear that, and the Iwamoto and Pajunas not being available is definitely going to be a miss for San Diego. Then again, you have the likes of Kayla Helton and Dina Ellen-Mellick as some of the primary contributors for this San Diego team. Just sort of looking at the season overall, Kayla Helton, one of the leading statistical contributors across the board. So far over the course of the season, 4 games played, 11 goals, 19 assists, and 5 blocks. Over 2,000 yards total throwing and receiving. Falcons are going to have their work cut out for them to slow Helton down. One of the players tasked with that duty will be Sharon Lynn. Not necessarily a physical matchup. Lynn a little bit on the shorter side. Helton, one of the taller players out on the field. But Lynn is one of the best defenders that the Falcons have. It'll be interesting to see how the Bay Area, Lynn and company, will try to slow Helton, Ellie Mellick, and the rest of this incredible Super Bloom offense down.
Yes, you're absolutely right. And with Helton and Ellie Mellick just set a single game receiving yardage of 373 against Colorado Alpenglow, and she just eclipsed Kayla Helton, who owned that record. And the assist leader for the week 4 was Kayla Helton. So these 2 main cogs, the Super Bloom are missing 2, but the 2 filling in for Super Bloom are quite amazing Worlds players. But Super Bloom has a deep roster too, and you're going to see that on exhibition today.
As for
we'll be singing, girl, put your love on me, 'cause I won't let you down. I won't
of the game, and pull went out of bounds, so we're back into things as Vivian Chu walks the disc in. Didn't fully get a chance to talk about this. Falcons without Han Chen as an active contributor, one of the top contributors for the Falcons through 2 games. Not available, but Barry offense already getting things underway. Eliza Pugh near side of the field. Ali Suji able to track it down far side. Khalees Cardenas underneath, pair of players. Nari Imanishi. And finds the window, cross the field, inside throw, score! Suji for the Falcons, 1-0, clean hold for the Bay Area.
Nice work by the Falcons right down the field. Right now, when you've got Han Chen out of the mix, we got Sarah Carnahan making her WUL debut, mother of 2. Going to be holding it down as QB1, along with QB1 being Eliza Pugh. Right down the field, getting in the flow. Really nice work for the first point of the game for the Falcons.
And sort of a nice opening point for the Bay Area. You don't want to give up any immediate break chances to San Diego. And like to see it nice and clean, finding the windows of space and able to work it in for the initial hold. A reminder for folks who may be tuning in for the first time in Week 6 here at the Western Ultimate League 2024 season. 7-second stalls, so this is going to be moving pretty quickly, so expect to see plenty of action back and forth as the Super Bloom offense take the field for the first time. Yu Ishii, disc center of the field. To Anna Savinsky. Ishii near sideline. And throw floats and is behind. Jillian Du able to clean it up. And the Bay Area with an early break chance.
Nice to see Du on the roster. She had a really good game in Utah.
Nice save by Molly Munson, but turns it away. And the Super Bloom offense will get another chance. Kemp Helm, Ellie Mellick, far side. That's Helton coming underneath. Keep an eye out for number 5, number 46 for Super Bloom. And another turnover.
Margot Donahue.
With the block. And just off the hands, near side.
Very exciting player.
Callahan finalist last year with UC Davis Rogue. And teams getting settled in. There is a bit of wind.
It is gusty. We're down on the field.
Munson trying to put it deep to Elias Chang. Chang able to get to him from a bidding Zavinsky. Resets to Lin. Around throw, but Ellie Mellick reading the play, able to deny. And a back and forth point so far, but hey, this is a Falcons D-line. That's what they're hoping for in the early stages, sort of unsettled Super Bloom in the early going. And hand block!
Almost Callahan.
Nearly Callahan. Munson able to get the hand to it. Point block on the end zone line. Low throw, Donahue dives, saves. Falcons break up 2-0.
Margot Donahue picking up where she left off. Last game, she was giving flying lessons. Nice, her first layout of the game. I'm sure will not be the last. Terrific hands on that catch.
And Munson just absolutely stymieing the Super Bloom offense. Couple of blocks. That last one, a point block on the end zone line, and then they quick dish, and yeah, as you said, Donahue sliding in for the save.
And that is a break. It's nice.
Quick early break for the Bay Area gives them the early advantage. I would say maybe San Diego might feel unsettled by this, but then again, just last game, they were down big against Arizona, 17-13, came roaring back with a 7-1 run in the fourth quarter. So if you're a Falcons fan, do not rest easy right now, because the Super Bloom team has shown time and again their ability to come back from a deficit, and down too early is nothing for the San Diego squad as they work it near side and now center of the field.
They're calm, they're steely, they're in it the whole time.
Pick call, Lexus Stambaugh with the disc. Marked by Jacqueline Wynn. And note, we see players moving ahead of the disc being fully put into play. That is the pre-stall 4 seconds Western Ultimate League specialty. Helps allow players get a little bit of motion. Stambaugh centering to Abrams. Across to Igawa. Near side trying to find it. Instead resets to Abrams. Abrams. Igawa back and forth. Over the top throw. Fading away. But reeled in
Nice
by
look.
Julia McIntyre. One of the Super Bloom players to watch. Had a good game last week, picking up right where she left off with the goal.
Super Bloom powering through the physicality. They're unfazed by it. Offense keeps churning away.
And Super Bloom able to settle in a bit on that point, giving up some opportunities, certainly tight windows. Liza Pugh nearly with the block on Agawa, but San Diego able to work it in and bring it back to the 1-goal deficit early. And time flies, Lawrence. We're already nearly halfway through the first period. It's pretty good action so far. Any initial notes from these first few opening points?
No, I think your observations are correct. There might be some jitteriness coming from Super Bloom. Other than that, the teams are settling in. No, just be aware that it is gusty out there. So if you see maybe an errant catch when the disc flutters, you definitely need to lock in. It might be contributing to some of the early turns. Other than that, this is slowly two teams figuring it out between each other.
Helton initially hangs out in the lane, but then tightens up the defense. Anderson to hammer far side. Thought about it, but Ishii covered up the window. Now it's Chu, far side, guarded by Zetner.
Oh, nice bid.
Tsuji not quite able to come up with it. And San Diego likes to run. Gun, Helton over the top, floaty throw, and Horanik ran into, but no foul called.
Wow. I'm about to yell up from up here. I had to okay, no up calls from the announcer.
As much as we have those sideline instincts, not for us at the moment. Carnahan inside. Cardenas.
Hammer's looking for it.
Hammer near sideline. Ishii doing a great job of taking away those initial windows. Imanishi floating the away shot. Oh yeah, touchy throw by Imanishi. Finds Tsuji for the goal.
It's great to see Allison Tsuji get into the flow early. I'd love to see that happen later in the game. Great cutter, knows how to create space downfield.
And Imanishi just lofting the throw away, perfectly settles. Both players have time together from playing on San Francisco Fury. So a little bit of teammate experience and something for both of these teams. Plenty of crossover from the club division, whether it's Fury or Nightlock in the women's division for the Bay Area, or Mischief or Polar Bears or etc. when it comes to the variety of mixed teams in the club ultimate scene in the Bay Area. And San Diego, plenty of continuity from San Diego or SoCal Flipside and San Diego Wildfire among other teams. And quick movement, Ellie Melik up to Bile, far side. Centers to Abrams. And this is more of the San Diego offense that we've come to expect.
Multiple field direction changes.
Angled throw, but able to track it down far side. Holland. To Abrams. Stall count rises, able to get it off. Back to Abrams. Abrams going nearly every other is the center pivot point. Ellie Melik, angled throw, makes it work. And that's a goal for Super Bloom. And they get another hold, bringing the score to 3-2.
Ellie Melik demonstrating that she's a deep threat. You get her in space, she can make the dink for the score or progress it down the field of any length. A very talented player. And a Worlds player, by the way. Worlds mixed player for 2023. Excuse me, 2024.
A number of players getting selected for the World Ultimate Championships. I always have to remember which worlds we're talking about. World Games or World Clubs or World Ultimate. WC coming up later this summer out in Australia. So Ellie Melik, one of the selections. Pretty sure alongside Helton, among others.
Sharon Lynn will be playing for the World's team, but on the women's bracket.
Yeah. U.S. sending 3 teams that competition, but we only got the 2 in front of us at the moment as Falcons offense gets going. Carnahan, as you said, stepping in as QB1, working with Chu, among others, in the backfield.
Nice to see Kobe out there. Jacqueline to win.
Oh, and a great block by Agawa, just reading the play and the movement by Chu, able to shut it down. And it's Ishii over to pick it up near sideline guard by Carnahan to Helton. First real break chance of the game goes wanting as this bounces off the hands of Liz Merritt.
The interesting thing about this field, the sun is setting, and the people who are that was a sun impacted catch. You definitely have to lock in.
And you can see the long shadows on the field of the players as Wynn centers it to Carnahan. Nice evening weather as Zalk gets down to it. Safe possession for the Bay Area. Chu, Wynn. Back to Chu. Stall count rises. Able to get the throw off, but stall call, Agawa making the stall call. We'll see if it stands. And observer walking over to chat with the players.
I was just going to say, Jacqueline to win in space is a good thing. So many things that she can do with the disc. She makes it look very easy.
So, not a stall call. One continuation throw will put the disc in the hands of Wynn from Callahan winner with the Cal Pie Queens.
Carnahan is the ace in the space. Boom.
And it's a foul, uncontested.
It's going to be a score.
And goal is strip. And it's Wynn who scores the goal despite the heavy pressure from Helton. Takes it to 4-2. Bay Area lead.
Really nice red zone. There is a level of physicality. And that's just the nature of this game. You call your fouls, self-officiated.
And Elton, uncontested, seemed to recognize that may have gone to the disc just a moment after Wynn and pulled it away as both players were tumbling with those bids. So appreciate seeing that from Helton. Very reasonable thing. Although, given that it's Kayla Helton, I wouldn't have been surprised if she had gotten the clean layout catch block either. So,
and when I'm saying physicality, it's not cheap. The people want to win. These players out here are playing. That this is a serious game. So just there's a level of appreciation with that physicality. But this is a non-contact sport.
And yeah, despite what people sometimes think when they're growing up playing frisbee, playing ultimate, you can't rip the disc out of somebody's hands. Helton trying to catch up for it. An incredible backhand grab, not quite able to be made by Zetner. An incredible effort on the backhand from Helton, but unable to do so. And the Bay Area with a chance to make it a 3-goal game early. Munson gets it moving underneath to Mankoff. Wataoka. Now the Donahue, center of the field for this this Bay Area defensive line. Chang, Donahue.
Falcons are in flow. Really nice.
Center field, Chen. Wataoka low throw. But to Pinwin Wong.
The team in flow is such a beautiful thing.
And big bids from San Diego, not able to make it happen. Floated throw, Ellie Mellick, incredible block to deny Mankoff. I thought for a second that Elimelech had misread it, but able to get the full extension to deny the break chance for the Bay Area.
Dina Elimelech making the adjustment. Big defensive.
That's at least 2 key blocks we've seen already from Elimelech to deny the Falcons' goals. Incredible timing and awareness from the Super Bloom star. Some discussion, perhaps some contact on the mark. And this tap back in. Abram's hands, inside throw. Gets it moving. Elimelech, a big block, but the drop followed up gives the Falcons another break chance. Munson going over to pick it up. Inside throw. Big Chen.
Break throw.
Finds Wong for the goal, and that is another Bay Area break as they take a 5-2 lead under a minute and a half left in the first quarter.
Vicky Chen with a beautiful break throw for the score. The disc is fluttering and definitely contributing to these, when you have a player sort of look in the ground just in disbelief going, I thought the Frisbee was going to be in my hands. Why is it on the ground? And that was that look that you could see from Elimelech.
Not something we often see from the generally sure-handed Elimelech, but even for the best players, drops happen, and you make a mistake like that, and Bay Area is eventually going to take advantage. Minute and a half left in this first quarter. A note about end of quarter rules again. If this is the first time you're tuning in to a Western Ultimate League game, it is possession rules at the end of the quarter. The team that has possession at the end of the quarter when it hits zeros gets to maintain that possession until either a score or a turnover or a timeout call, as we saw last game when we were in the booth together. Lawrence, liner, drive, grab, incredible snag from Cam Helm.
Beautiful catch.
Just running away from Helm, able to make the snag anyway, and Bile just throw away from Helton.
50 seconds left. It is still a possession situation.
And we might see both teams try and get into a burning time situation towards the end of the quarter. We're not sure if we're quite there yet. Do inside throw, and Gawa gobbling that up. And see if San Diego could take advantage. Orange area, Kramer, practice player. Called up for the game, not quite on the same page with Helton. And
start the disc.
Falcons.
There you go.
Falcons seem to call a timeout from the sideline before the clock hit zeros. And observers upholding the timeout call. Helton pointing out the scoreboard that says zeros. Observers are going to consult, make sure that everyone's on the same page when it comes to the amount of time left. But it seems like from the sideline, Coach Manisha Dariani just got the timeout call in before time expired.
Remember last game we had that. Was it supposed to be a timeout? Turned out to be time expired. Say it's a situation where you need to get to disc, get it in motion, or call a timeout. This is a very precious time. And let's see, did they make it happen? 2 seconds around the clock. He successfully made it happen. Great.
And for those who didn't catch it, back in week 2 of the Western Ultimate League season, the Bay Area hosted the Seattle Tempest, and I think it was also the end of the first quarter. A Seattle player had the disc. It was in that final possession, but time had expired. They called a timeout on the field. If time has expired, then that is a turnover / the quarter is then automatically over. In this case, Coach Ariani of the Falcons, knowing that, calls the timeout from the sidelines. Coaches are able to do that in the Western Ultimate League, and ensuring that the Falcons would get a chance to put out the players that they want out on the field. Because another thing that we haven't entirely covered yet, the Western Ultimate League, when a team takes timeout, both teams are able to sub their lines as needed. So for this Bay Area break chance, try and put on that offensive line grouping for the break conversion. Win! Angled throw, away! Caught, not in yet. Erheim, hammer, Chu, near sideline. Falcons 2 yards out. Imanishi continuing around. Hammer now, far side of the field. Falcons trying to find that final opening. Carnahan not in, but ahead to Hammer for the break, and that is an end of quarter conversion for the Bay Area. They take a 4-goal lead after one, up 6-2.
Falcons working their progressions in red zone. It became very red zone zen. That was beautiful.
That's exactly as a coaching staff. That's why you call the timeout, and that's what you want to see from your red zone, end zone offense. Getting stuck in the corner and then working it to the far side of the field, player getting open in one-on-one space. That is textbook from the Falcons, and it's given them a 4-point lead after the first quarter.
It was awesome. 2 minutes left in the quarter. They call timeout. They swap people around. They work a play, and the magic happened. Very nice work.
Not even 2 minutes, 2 seconds left.
2 seconds. I said 2
in
minutes.
the
I meant
quarter.
2 seconds. Yes, 2 seconds left.
And this is the sort of thing that I know folks have been starting to track a little bit more this Western Ultimate League season, with all of the games available to be watched on stream, and also the great availability of stats on the Western Ultimate League website. It's been a situation where teams are trying to really rein in more on those end of quarter possessions, and the Bay Area basically giving a textbook example on what you should do in these situations of calling the timeout, getting the late turnover, and using it to your advantage, pressing that advantage. And a 4-point margin. Again, San Diego has come back from that sort of margin before, but still impressive all around from the Bay Area.
Absolutely. That was a beautiful ending. I know the coaches are high-fiving themselves going, yes.
All right, we're going to step away for a few seconds, and we'll be right back for the start of the second quarter. And welcome back for the start of the second quarter. Note that teams will flip who pulls at the start of each quarter. So Falcons started with that nice clean opening hole, now pulling on defense to Super Bloom. And hey, even more reason for the Bay Area to have taken advantage of that possession, knowing that you're going to be pulling it to start the second quarter. And Abrams once again, playing a center handler for Super Bloom, working with Helm in the backfield. Super Bloom trying to work out of a vertical stack and just having to put it up with a high stall count, pile of players. And it's Chen with the block for the Bay Area.
Looks like Bay Area. Oh, big boost.
Munson over the top. Lynn. And there's Helton to deny. That was the matchup that we were talking about in the opener. And Helton, Lynn matching up, former teammates on San Francisco Fury, and Helton getting the better of Lynn on that away throw by Munson.
Let's see. It looks like right now Falcons were doing, it looked like an FM. Looks like they've, Super Bloom has shifted to a horizontal.
And Super Bloom's offense just not going on the same page with each other. Another turnover, another giveaway. Downfield pressure from the Bay Area really applying, making it tough for San Diego. Away throw. And Munson maybe a little aggressive on trying to get it out to Chang.
It's a great cut. The window was there, just came out hot.
We'll see as the teams settle into this second quarter, see if the nerves settle or if it starts to become a bit of fisticuffs.
I have to tell you that the last game against Seattle, the Falcons' defense was terrific. They created the early differential, and it's happening again.
And Donahue on the doorstep. Short throw, Munson. Easier to play the receiver on that short catch from Donahue, and that is another Falcons break. 7-2 lead, again, over the, up to this point, undefeated San Diego Super Bloom.
Big dogs are eating, but it's still young. Super Bloom are in it throughout. But the big dogs, once again, getting the turns and attacking and very successful in the red zone.
Munson and Donahue both with at least a goal and an assist in the early going. So a couple of key contributors stepping up in the opening parts of this game, again with the absence of Han Chen, but Falcons showing that it's not just Heist's team, Heist nickname for Han Chen, but instead having this all around. 7-2, I'm not sure the margin that folks would have expected. I'm still trying to avoid counting these chickens too early, though, because this Super Bloom team is way too good for that.
Not exactly.
And Kramer stepping in. Mention Kramer as a practice player for San Diego. A number of folks unavailable for Super Bloom because it is Southwest College Regionals weekend. So Kramer, only 19 years old, stepping into a big role for San Diego on the road, playing as a center handler on this point.
Pick called on the field.
Youth making it work. Kramer near side. Angled throw. Sentner, but blocked. That Falcons defense getting it done. Now Dew with the disc. But behind Suji, short field once again for San Diego as Kramer goes over to put the disc back into play. Savinsky, stand by. Far side Tesler. Kramer working back.
Falcons playing tough D. The arounds are challenged. A great catch.
Kramer able to make it work to Agawa. Inside throw. Not in for Jessica Wan. Inside throw. Kramer, young gun to Zettner, making it work. 19-year-old to 32-year-old get the San Diego score as Super Bloom narrows the margin back down to 4, trailing 7-3.
Bay Area definitely made that red zone progression, forcing Super Bloom to make a lot of passes, which is great. That around throw, that break throw was airy, definitely a tough catch to make, and that was perfect for Falcons to potentially create a turn. Super Bloom made it happen and scored.
Yeah, great confidence to see from the young Kramer stepping up in a big way early, as mentioned. And also, the Falcons' downfield defense has forced throws like that out of the likes of Kramer and Igawa and Ali Melek, just really what I feel like in football is often known as like a coverage sack is when you shut down the downfield options so much so that you allow you make the other team make the difficult throws, the difficult catches. Super Bowl able to convert at that point, but if the Falcons can continue to do that, it's going to work out. As Erheim puts one over the top, and that's Bio able to deny it.
Yes, I think along those same lines, if you can force Super Bloom into their second and third options and take away their first ones, that's where you want. You want the other auxiliary players to beat you.
Abrams, Ishii in the backfield initially.
But those auxiliary players are very good.
And Elimelech getting involved in the handler space. Ishii, far sideline, up to Elimelech. Foul called. Ishii and Anderson getting tangled, potentially just a tangle of feet. This looks like it will stay with Elimelech on the far sideline. Super Blue mostly working out of this vertical stack of sorts. I feel like vertical stack is coming at least more into vogue, especially on the West Coast where horizontal has dominated for a while. And the over-the-top throw, can't find Haranek. Disc back to the Falcons. You notice that trend of late in terms of offenses, especially in the West Coast, starting to play a little bit more vertical stack? I feel like West Coast teams, like you play and everyone's doing the same thing. Oh, and...
Cardenas is down.
Collision with Bile. Cardenas able to go off under her own power. And it's going to be Wynn who replaces as San Diego also makes a substitution, and Helton getting introduced for Super Bloom.
Hope Khalees is okay. To your pick called. To your question about vert versus horizontal, I think you find a lot of teams are flexing depending on the situation. Falcons were doing sort of a clam, really poaching the lanes of the vert, forcing Super Bloom to go horizontal. But you're going to find teams are probably going to be able to flex depending on the field.
And Falcons working out of something, maybe a horizontal stack, maybe a split stack, and Elimelech says, yes, I will take another block, thank you very much. It's at least Elimelech's third of the game, at least. But Super Bloom not able to convert on the chances, plenty of discs off the hands. They're having their opportunities, haven't been able to take full advantage of them yet. Carnahan, likewise, throw straight to Haranek. Ishii. To Abrams. Abrams, deep throw away to Haranek, who just had the block to score. Bookends for Sydney Haranek.
Who made that boost? I missed that because that was a beautiful throw in space.
That might have been Abrams with the away throw, finding Haranek. Interestingly, both Abrams and Haranek have experience in the Bay Area. Abrams, former Stanford Superfly player. Haranek played for a number of teams in the Bay Area, including my club team for this upcoming season, American Barbecue. So
that's so cool.
Plenty of folks traveling up and down the state, moving along in different spots. So two former Bay Area folks connecting for that score. And I think that is, in fact, a San Diego break. It didn't feel like it because it ended up being a sort of extended point, but narrowing the margin back to 3, 7-4 Bay Area advantage.
So Bay Area's O-line is on the field. Let's see how they respond.
And near side is Hammer to Suji. Still near side, small spaces. Throw behind Eliza Chang, but Carnahan able to save it. Eliza Chang, Vicky Chen, and blocked. That's, depending on who you give credit to, that's Ellen Malik's probably 4th block of the game as Helen puts the way throw. Able to be reeled in by McIntyre. Another away throw, and not able to get it is Savinsky.
Nice layout by Savinsky. It was beautiful. But just out of reach.
And the game's starting to open up. Not sure if players are starting to wear it down as we head towards the end of the half, but Loop's looping throw. Finds Eliza Chang. Sorry, it finds Eliza Pugh and Eliza Chang working together on the near sideline. Chang over the top to Suji. Carnahan now center of the field as Falcons shift into their end zone set. And timeout called from the Bay Area. 2 timeouts per half per team. And the Falcons opting to spend their second trying to punch in this hold to settle in a little bit. Again, game's feeling like it opening up a little bit. And really wanted to try and convert the hold so you don't give up yet another break to San Diego.
Yeah, it's a good call. Red zone. The defense has been in the red zone quite frequently this half. And it would be great to have the O-line punch it in calmly and confidently. Now, they did that to end the first quarter. Let's see how they can do it mid-second quarter.
Just about 3.5 minutes left in the quarter. So still a chunk of time for both teams to have their opportunities. But as I said, I like the call. Making sure that you have a chance to use your timeouts while you have them. Trying to make sure that you stymie the flow of the momentum for this Super Bloom team. That one break doesn't turn into 2 or 3 or more breaks. And just settle in, trade, back and forth. And the Falcons, with that early lead after the first quarter, would be happy with that, at least for the time being.
This is good. Super Bloom's starting to get comfortable. If you can, breaking ankles, nice.
And Suji just running hard, but just missing on the catch. On the crossfield throw from Chu. And after the timeout, it is now back to San Diego.
Khalees is back on the field. That's good. After it looks like it was a bad ankle injury. They're trying to keep Super Bloom from jump-starting. There we go, their offense.
And Cardenas getting involved. Able to get the block. And now to win center of the field. To Imanishi. Looking for an option. Low throw, makes it work. As Zalk in the corner, as the Falcons do hold on the second effort after the timeout. 8-4.
I really like that transition D. They did not get the score initially after the timeout. Big, strong, flat marks. They allowed Super Bloom to go laterally, and they got the turn, and they were able to punch it in. That was really nice. Nice work.
Imanishi again, touchy throw, second assist of the game. And Falcons steady after that Super Bloom break. Restored their 4-goal advantage with about 2.5 minutes left in the quarter. A note on end of quarter situations, we've already talked about the possession rule. Also, with under 2 minutes remaining in the quarter, the clock will stop more regularly for any other stoppages as well, and not running in the same way as it is throughout the rest of the quarter, allowing for some more back and forth, tight-knit pressure situations at the end of the quarters. Helm with the disc, finds Agawa.
Falcons in horizontal. Excuse me, my bad.
Super Bloom putting it deep. Helton, another ripped backhand. Floated, tipped, and Zettner able to track it down anyway on the second effort. Great concentration from the San Diego standout to convert the quick hold for Super Bloom.
Elsa Winlow with the position. Got to catch your Ds. Great positioning.
And not quite able to do so. Zettner with the second goal
She's a
of the
fun
game.
player. I'm glad to see her on the field. Would I like to see more points with her on the field.
Brings the score to 8-5. No, but I think that's only Helton's first assist or goal of the game. So Falcons doing a pretty good job so far of trying to limit what San Diego's top talent can do. There's been some drops here and there, so not necessarily always a matter of the Falcons defense, but hey, if you're the Falcons coaching staff and you can hold Kayla Helton to 1 assist so far, along with Ellie Melk also with a lone assist by my count, you will take that through a first half.
And I can't tell you, she may have been off a number of points. And so now we're going to see if she's going to run multiple points. What does that look like if the O goes through her? But right now, Falcons in flow. It's a beautiful sight when they're in flow.
I'm not sure what's happening, but Wynn had the disc on the far side of the field. Maybe some poaching look from San Diego, but rapidly Pugh with the disc and pick called. As Pugh tried to find a hammer, but it's going to reset with Savinsky on the mark. Pick call. Freestall.
QB1 with the disc. Liza Pugh. To Kobe.
Win. Imanishi, big bin.
Boom.
Not able to get there, and it's a win from Imanishi. Another assist from Imanishi, third of the game. This one to win for a 9-5 Barry lead.
Win's delish. Very, very good. Like the cutting.
And teams have settled in a little bit to trading holds, but really not sure what happened to that Super Bloom defense. It seemed like they were leaving players wide open through most of the field. Not sure if that was intentional or some miscommunication. But regardless, the Falcons are happy to take advantage, and Imanishi, third assist of the game, able to find a win right by the front cone.
Really nice crowd here.
Nice crowd, nice weather, sun setting in the Bay Area over the hills of Oakland. And we're rapidly approaching the end of this first half. Approaching a minute to play as Abrams, once again, center handler for San Diego. Standball saves it. Back to Abrams. Abrams trying to just get the offense going somehow. Floating throw, and Lynn wins the matchup against Helton.
Sharon Lynn, nice position. Catch your Ds. There you go. It's what it looks like. So beautifully done. So confidently.
Low throw to Munson is corralled near side. Back to Lynn. Picked up the block. Wataoka around there. A couple players in the vicinity. Finds also Winslow. Chang to Munson. Winslow sliding throw.
Wow,
Lynn able to get under it. Incredible.
Doing some dig work.
Lynn, I was about to say, is taking over the point and just not able to put enough float on it for Wataoka.
Oh, so close. They were in flow. Really nice. Timeout on the field.
And disc back to San Diego. And as we saw in the first quarter, with seconds remaining, Super Bloom opting to take timeout to settle, make sure that they have their game plan. I wouldn't be surprised, Lawrence, even though that they have the disc right on the end zone, if one of the first things or first couple things we see from San Diego are passes backwards, just to make sure that they do not give up possession to the Bay Area by trying to force something up the field. Even if that does mean that you have the disc into your end zone, as long as you don't give up a Callahan pretty much, then you're guaranteed to at least reduce the chance that the Falcons are going to have a last second opportunity like they did in the first quarter.
Yeah, that's good observation, absolutely. They may surprise you, and they may boost it too. If they see someone open, do not hesitate to boost to open people.
Let's see what happens. I know I've been watching some of the games from the past few weeks, waiting for the Falcons to get back into action. I've noticed a few teams really being proactive about hey, there's only like 20, 30 seconds left on the clock. We're going to be happy to just bounce it back and run the clock just to make sure that the other team does not get an opportunity to score at the end of the quarter, even if that does mean that you have to lose some yardage in the process.
Yeah, if it's possession, you run your progression.
And swinging the disc, and there's the block and the save, and sure enough, a few seconds left. That may come back to bite.
Got to keep it moving.
Do with the disc. Mere yards out. Lin marked by Helton. To Suji. Couple yards out. Lin, goal! Score, and that is the end of the first half. Falcons converting on the end of quarter possession. San Diego making the mistake, and it is 10-5 at the end of the first half.
Back-to-back quarter possessions. That's very nice.
And Lin not quite able to connect on the initial throw to the end zone. Gets the reception this time as the Falcons restore their 5-goal lead, up 10-5. Any initial thoughts? I mean, I was like, oh, there's going to be a comeback. There was the push from San Diego. The Falcons weathered the storm and were able to restore this lead towards the end, taking advantage again of the end of quarter possession rule.
No, right now what I see is the D-line is doing what the D-line does. They picked up where they left off against Tempest, and they're continuing to create breaks and scores. I'm curious to see what adjustments Super Blue makes. But going in, Coach Dariani, I'm sure is very happy. The stuff we worked on is playing off. Everybody's stepping up and they're playing large. So I know the one locker room is going to be very happy. The other one's going to have, okay, let's see what we need to do, what changes we need to make to get back into this game.
Now, granted, this game is still not over. Again, remind y'all of just last week, San Diego down 17-13 late in the fourth quarter,
with
able
10
to
minutes left in the game, yes, exactly.
and able to make the run late. So Falcons cannot rest on their laurels, need to make the push once again. All right, we're going to take a quick step away, and when we come back, more first half recap looking ahead to the second half. right, welcome to a halftime interview. I'm joined by Deanna Abrams from San Diego Super Bloom. A little bit tough first half for y'all, but you've been in this place before just last week. Big comeback in the fourth quarter. What are the thoughts going to be for your team looking ahead to the second half to make another comeback like that in the second half?
Yeah, I think the lesson from last week was we can dig ourselves out of any hole. So my head's still in the game. I think we're out here having a lot of fun, having a really good time, and we're going to keep working hard and always try to come back.
At one point you connected with Sydney Horanik on Oeto. Was mentioning in the booth that both of y'all are former Bay Area folks. What's it like to be back in the Bay playing against some of maybe your old teammates or friends that you used to play with more regularly up here, and this crowd that I'm sure you're very familiar with?
Yeah, playing in the Bay is my favorite. I've got a lot of old friends who are out here in the stands. It's really great to see them. My cousin is at grad school. He's out here to see me. I'm going to have dinner with him after. It's always a really great crowd out here, good vibes, so I love playing up here.
Great. Any other thoughts? Any shout-outs ahead of the second half?
Shout out to all of my teammates who are coaching college regionals. Good luck, and we love you and miss you.
All right, thank you for Deanna Abrams for joining us, and we're going to take a step away, and we'll be back for the second half.
Defense faces.
All right, and welcome back to Oakland, California, Fremont High School, as the teams get set to start the second half of action here between the Bay Area Falcons and San Diego Super Bloom. A quick check-in for folks who might be interested in what else is going on in the Western Ultimate League this weekend. There is another game happening simultaneously to ours, so you may have it up on 2 monitors or 2 tabs. I know I've done that multiple times to keep track of a bunch of games. If not, update from that game. Currently an 11-6 Seattle Tempest lead over Colorado Alpenglow in the towards the end of the first half in Northwest Conference action. Seattle has bounced back a little bit since taking the big loss here to the Falcons. And from the incredible first half that we saw from the Bay Area, maybe not a fluke for the strength of this Falcons roster. The initial loss to Utah WUL may be looking more like the exception rather than the rule. Although, again, as mentioned earlier, don't count your chickens before they hatch. I'm Jen Whiter. He's Lawrence McKendall. Lawrence, thoughts on the first half looking ahead to the second that's about to get underway?
Interesting observation about Tempest. They seem to right the ship. Here, what I would say with the Falcons, at some point, they don't want to be comfortable. They need to continue this and close out this game. Again, we're just starting the second half, but don't think we have this figured out. And that would be great. And I know Super Bloom going, we got to right this ship. We're down by 5. Let's get this going. Let's start the half with a break.
And as we heard from Deanna Abrams at halftime, Super Bloom, knowing that they have the capacity to come back from deficits like this, that making that fourth quarter run against Arizona last week, we mentioned it time and time again, will continue to do so. As Vivian Chu floats one out, perfect, just not quite for Suji, and it's Kramer coming through. Very impressed with Kramer so far, and 19-year-old going, picking up this to put it back into play to start this Super Bloom break chance. Way throw. Floating for Ellie Mellick. We've seen Ellie Mellick make pretty spectacular plays like that before, not quite able to run it down this time. And just back to the Falcons, Carnahan, far sideline. High point grab by Urheim. And both teams trying to put it deep, trying to find
Boost on boost fest.
Suji. The target a couple of times makes sense, but just about flowing out of play. Maybe we'll see a flag or 2 on the far side of the field. A little bit of a crosswind that we have going. A little bit gusty as the sun sets here in the Bay Area. And unintentional, incredible play from
Zetner.
Zetner to catch the bobble from Stambaugh. And Zetner now in wide open space, not able to find Helm.
Now, Super Bloom was trying to put a lot of pressure, close out the windows, prevent the Falcons from getting comfortable.
Chu marked by Ellie Mellick. Finds the underneath throw to Carnahan. Carnahan to Urheim.
Now they're in space.
Urheim thinks about it. Finds the reset instead. Suji to Anderson near sideline. Big bid by Helm, but the Bay Area maintained possession. And another up the line throw. And it's Chu able to get steps in front of Ellie Mellick. And that is a hold from the Bay Area. Take it to an 11-5 lead. But a call, stall call.
It's a beautiful throw to space.
And ruled by the observers to not be a stall, therefore a goal. Anderson on the assist on the touchy away throw to Chu for the Bay Area score.
I was going to say, that was a pretty fast stall count. But you're seeing Super Bloom are leaving their feet. They're trying to create pressure. And Falcons are leaning into it and running their O beautifully.
And after some of the initial away throws trying to find Suji, notice Carnahan in particular just trying to get the resets, find the open windows, find the players coming underneath. and able to step in. Carnahan, a longtime veteran of the Bay Area club scene, and making an impact felt in this game so far, settling in that offense, even if it's not on the score sheet directly.
In her debut game, cool as the other side of the pillow out there.
Anchoring that offensive line backfield. Again, no Han Chen for the Bay Area. Carnahan and company making it as if Chen, making it look like at least that Chen isn't missed. Although I'm sure they'll be happy to have her back in a future game. And Super Bloom playing three-person weave in the backfield. Helton.
If you can keep Helton from getting into space, keeping her in the handler stack is not a bad thing.
And just a drop from Helton.
Uncharacteristic.
We've seen drops from both Helton and Ellie Mellick. Dropping concentration is all it takes sometimes. As an away throw. That's Wong. Away. Donahue gets it for the score. That's another Bay Area break. 12-5 is the home team lead.
Defense is eating. Love the rowing cheer, goal cheer. Not very nice. Big dogs are eating.
Love to see the fun goal celebrations from the Bay Area. They have all the momentum right now. Up 12-5. 7-goal margin, more than doubling up San Diego so far. As I think we said last time we were here, Lawrence, not what you would necessarily expecting coming into the game, but again, maybe it's more of a rule than the exception, that especially at home, the Falcons are able to open up these big leads, and we'll see if they can just sustain like they did against Seattle.
Very much so. These are quite measuring games. They beat the league champions of 2023. Definitely held home court. They're handling their business now. Let's see if they can close it out. But definitely there's some nice things that the Falcons are demonstrating here. Bay Area Falcons saying we can get stops when needed and we can convert.
And Super Bloom trying to get reset. Ellie Mellick putting it deep right away. Wong tracking it down.
Oh, nice bid.
Gowan not able to quite come up with the big bid. And you could see players' jerseys ruffling a bit in the wind. Pushing diagonally across the field. But that they're able to work, and now it's Mankoff. And Ellie Mellick, yet another block. I gotta say that's at least 5 from Ellie Mellick. An incredible defensive showing so far from the San Diego superstar.
She's so stoic and so cool.
And now trying to get on the score sheet. Floated throw. No problem. Trots it in for the goal. And Super Bloom stabilize.
And that was a bookend, as the announcer said. That was a block and then made the cut deep for the score.
And I might have missed exactly who that was, but I'm pretty sure that was Kramer on the immediate away throw. Picking up, trying to run and gun, get their team moving for the score. And impressive again so far from Kramer, 2 assists in their Western Ultimate League debut as a practice player, getting called up when asked to and making it work so far.
You know, before the game, I was talking to Dina Elimelech about, she was just chilling before the game. I said, can you tell me about the personality? Because you've demonstrated so many different ways, this team has demonstrated different ways to win. She said happiness. We play with a lot of happiness. And whether we're up or down, that's the mindset of the team. And that's a really nice space to be in collectively as a team.
I mean, those are the San Diego vibes for you, the former UC San Diego superstar in the college division. Making it work on the semi-pro stage, but her team has a lot of work to do as Wynn floats one out for Zog, running it down without issue, and not even blinking, the Falcons respond with an immediate hold.
Jacqueline Wynn with the disc. She can do so much, and she demonstrates in space. She can score with short throws, deep throws, gets open at will. Nice player to watch.
And this was a storyline we were talking about last game as well. Falcons getting very even distribution from across their roster. By my hand-tracked stats, the only player with more than 2 goals or assists is Kanari Imanishi with 3 assists. Other than that, every other player who has scored or assisted has at most 2. And this has sort of been the question for the Falcons since their inception. The Bay Area has such a deep pool of talent. Can they bring it together into a standout team? Made the breakthrough last year to championship weekend. And again, other than that week 1 loss on the road, has shown the potential to step up and make that depth of talent that the Bay Area is known for and is famous for really matter. And we're seeing it in the across the roster contributions from this Falcons team.
Kayla's making cuts. Kayla Helton's making cuts, looking for the disc. They shut down that early option.
And Super Bloom trying to find the small windows in the handler space. Stambaugh not happy about something that was going on with the mark of Munson. And Stambaugh just able to find Gawa. Near side, Imanishi. And foul. Fakey Trent trying to generate defensive pressure, maybe put too much body on Yu Ishii. Uncontested foul. And it'll stay with Ishii. About 10 yards out for Super Bloom. Ishii looks at the up the line, doesn't find it, back to Kramer. Kramer. They try and find Helton. Helton able to dig it out. Helton continuing to be marked by Lynn. Miscommunication and this back to the Falcons. Now in the hands of Jillian Dew.
Beautiful layup by Helton. The sun is definitely coming into play at this angle.
Sun and wind, both factors. Low throw from Savinsky, finds Stambaugh. 5 yards out, back to Kramer. Stambaugh near side. Super Bloom really trying to work it through the handlers, and instead opts for the hammer, and it got nearly with the two-handed layout, but just off the fingertips.
That was a high stall count hammer. They had no... That was the option. Throw it back of the end zone. Hopefully they get a score. Is that a...
And Nagawa putting the body on the line for that
injury
layout
side.
bid.
Yep. Injury sub.
Nagawa, a key contributor in the club division for Southern California flip side. Teammate alongside a number of these Super Bloom players as well. Stepping into action as the Falcons can't connect on that reset throw. And disc back to San Diego. Elton picking up.
Kayla Helt demanding.
And that's the connection that I think we might have been expecting more often. Helton to Ali Melik for the short field score as San Diego score to bring it 13-7.
Helt was like, I have this disc, and that was the play. Boom, boom, to Ali Melik.
And again, the shadow's getting quite long here in Oakland. Just about to sunset here in the Bay Area. See if that affects how players are playing, especially facing that direction where the sun is.
You can see players looking in the sun, covering their eyes. So definitely, it's if you're cutting in, making in cuts For the Falcons on this possession, they may be challenged with the sun. Throw it low, find that right high angle, you can avoid that. 4:23 left in the third quarter. 13-7 Falcons.
And as we said last game when the Falcons were up, you are okay with trading, and it's going to be a pressure on Super Bloom to start generating those more consistent break chances and converting on more of them.
Good point.
Love to see folks running down hard on the pull, but it's Carnahan, low throw to Imanishi, center of the field. Falcons already past half field. Reset to Carnahan, stall count rising. And just, nearly saved by Hammer as it sailed over
With the
Pugh's.
sick catch. Nice sick attempt. That was great.
Not quite able, not the intended receiver though. They've reset intended for Eliza Pugh. Hand right off the hands of Haranek. And this back to the Falcons.
Kara Hammer makes a big cut deep.
Imanishi, win. Looks off Hammer. Hops for Pugh. 7 yards out. And a collision between Imanishi and Haranek. Foul. No contest. Disc will stay with Pugh. Stall count should reset.
Canary looks good. She looks okay. QB1, Eliza Pugh.
Pugh guarded by Matholi Thacker.
Nice find.
Just able to get it off in time to Hammer. San Diego ramping up defensive pressure, but Chu able to get to it just in front of Kramer. And it's Hammer for the score. Falcons got to breathe a sigh of relief, just making it done as San Diego cranked and cranked on that defensive pressure, but couldn't stop the Falcons from scoring.
Falcons ran through their progression. One of the things you think, well, they were small windows. It's a 7-second stall count. That sort of artificially creates the small windows. A lot of practice, a lot of poise, a lot of trust in your teammates. You can work those progressions and get that score.
And again, Super Bloom with chances, but just discs off the hands of players is always going to make life harder if you have those unforced errors. And sure enough, you give a good team enough chances, as we always say, they're eventually going to take advantage of one. And under 3 minutes to play in the third quarter. And again, Falcons maintaining 14-7 advantage. As again, sunny conditions and slightly breezy and gusty conditions.
So this is the largest deficit. I think the deficit of 4 last week against Arizona, Super Bloom experience. This is going to be their highest. So if they manufacture something, this is definitely going to push them. If they need to start somewhere in the third quarter.
And we start to see San Diego stacking more of those lines. Elimelech, Helton, both out there, but the throw just above the head of Helton. And nearly too casual for the Bay Area, but this goes to Mutz anyway. And run through block. Zetner in the hands of Agawa. Agawa score for San Diego, and just like that, they hold to bring the score to 14-8.
It is a hold, and to your point, they cannot go back and forth. They need to figure a way to start boosting. And then at some point, you're going to see San Diego start to boost and say, we're going to boost, and we just have to do lockdown D and see if we can pressure again to get a short field goal.
That being said, with under 2 minutes to play now, I can imagine what the speech might be by the Falcons coaching staff ahead of the fourth quarter, which is to say, don't let up, don't be complacent. That block generated by Zetner is simply a matter of the Falcons not running through the disc, expecting that San Diego would ease off the pressure, but Zetner running hard, able to generate the block, ends up in the hands of Agawa. And Super Bloom are able to convert the short field possession from there. So you can't just stand around and expect that San Diego is going to lie down and give it to you. They're too good of a team, and the Falcons have to continue to press, even and especially on the defensive line.
And aren't you going to say something about point differential being part of the equation?
Potentially. I mean, these teams have similar point differentials by playing very different numbers of games, but point differential may come down to at the end of the day, but this is only the Falcons' third game of the season, so a little tough to say until they start getting those matches against the Sidewinders. As Bay Area O-line in flow, near sideline Imanishi, up the line to Chu. Chu resets to Anderson. Anderson continues across to Imanishi. Imanishi gets the big Ali Malik, but Kramer with the block.
Ever made a move that breaks an ankle of the defender and you just sort of marveling at it and then you throw it away? I've been there.
Been there a moment or two. Kramer just giving absolutely everything for San Diego. Gets close, but the angle throw is perfect to Chu despite the bid from Savinsky. And that's another Falcons score. They hold once again.
Vivian Chu with a great grab. And the Falcon train keeps on moving. This is not an anomaly. You're seeing a trend here.
Pretty sure that was Cardenas on the sideline, just perfectly angled throw. Savinsky giving absolutely everything to try and get there, but Chu just with the perfect position, the throw perfectly set up to find its receiver. And Falcons up to a 15-8 lead. Again, happy with trades, and they are continuing to do that. The offensive line is looking consistent and polished. Something we saw last week as well continues this, or last game for the Falcons continues this week as well.
These are always interesting moments that you look at, what do coaches do in this situation? How do you rally the troops? How do you keep them centered and focused? And just like one point at a time to get back into it. And the other one is, don't let up. Do not give them hope.
San Diego's offense getting things back underway after the short pull past half field.
Donahue crowding Helton.
And
Trying to push the disc in everybody else's hands other than hers.
Nagawa working in the backfield, just back in the hands of Holland from Helm. To Agawa. Yeah, Donahue just playing pure face-up defense.
It's like 6-on-6 offense.
And that is the end of quarter buzzer. So Super Bloom will be able to play out this possession until either they score or it is a turnover. Pick called, Helm with the disc. Players and observers really trying to communicate, make sure everyone's heard and the information gets to be where it needs, and the disc will reset back to Helton. And even with the pick called, disc will still stay with San Diego. Again, only a turn timeout or a score will end it, and just able to hold on to it. It's McIntyre. Back to Helton. Helton, McIntyre, nearly a no-look. Low, around throw, Helm, far sideline. Can Super Bloom make it count?
Trying to lock down Helton.
San Diego really needing to make it count at this point.
Helton waiting to make that move.
Hranek, marked by Mankoff. Low throw inside is a goal. Hranek to Bile will give Super Bloom a score to end the third quarter. Take our score to 15-9 as we head into the final period of action.
Bile is another downfield dynamic player for Super Bloom. It's her first time is in the goal for this game. Super Bloom worked their progression calmly, got the score, even when Kayla Helton was out of the equation, being locked down by Margot Donahue. They figured it out and got the score.
And that's what you want to see if you're a Super Bloom fan, is you only have so much time, want to get a lifeline back into the game to make sure that you start to close it, and knowing that you're going to come out on offense to start the fourth quarter.
Yeah, good point.
All right, we're going to take a quick break here. When we come back, it'll be the start of the final quarter of action. Bay Area Falcons currently leading San Diego Super Bloom 15-9.
Curious to see what happens if they...
And welcome back to Fremont High School in Oakland, California for the final quarter of action between the Bay Area Falcons and San Diego Super Bloom. The home team Falcons leading 15-9. I'm Jenna Weiner, joined in the booth by Lawrence McKendall. Lawrence, final quarter of action, a 6-point lead for the Bay Area, but we're going to keep referring back to it until it stops being relevant. San Diego coming back from a 4-point fourth quarter deficit last week. And they're starting out on offense to start this fourth quarter. Any thoughts?
Well, I was going to say, while we were just off mic, is that I'm curious to see what adjustments need to happen. They're saying we're down by 6. We just need to start with 1 point. The characteristics Super Bloom is they're going to start boosting. They're fearless. Let's see what happens.
Currently playing bit of small ball is Ellen Mellick. Centers to Kramer. And floated throw. And just out of the reach of Ellen Mellick. Lynn providing the pressure for the Bay Area. And then the wind just catching the disc and pushing it out of Ellen Mellick's reach. Suji resetting to Munson. Falcons defensive line starting to go to work. Lynn with the disc on the near sideline, work by Ellie Mellick, centering to Munson. Munson, inside throw to Winslow. Thinks about the short option. Munson able to get open against Savinsky. Falcons taking their time. And Winslow, Suji, near sideline. 20 yards out and timeout called by the Bay Area. 2 timeouts per half. This is the first for the Bay Area as they try and convert a first point fourth quarter break. Another good decision, you think, with 10.5 minutes left to call a timeout to try and convert this break opportunity, restore that 7-goal lead.
Yeah, I think it is. They have got 2. This is their first timeout of the half.
As far as I can track,
there
yeah.
You have. So I think this is use it, slow it down. One of the things is you just sort of take some of this team potentially out of Super Blue, and that's good. It's definitely cheer up your team, cool the other team. Just go through your progressions and burn some daylight, burn some time.
Well, again, with the availability of subs during timeouts, the Falcons able to sub out that defensive line that had generated that break chance. Now hand it over to some of their key offensive contributors. Looks like Carnahan's going to be the one to put the disc back into play for the Bay Area to try and take it to a 16-9 lead if they can convert this break opportunity. And miscommunication immediately out of the timeout. You hate to see that. And San Diego also got a chance to sub. Helton, away throw. Ellie Melik, yeah, you betcha. Able to get to it. That's more the trademark Ellie Melik we've come to know and love.
Giving flight lessons daily.
And right back. Vivian Chu. A layout block earns this back for Bay Area. What a point after that timeout.
I, too, give flight lessons.
Hammer, disc far side of the field, putting it over the top to Zalk. And Bile able to get underneath it. Elimelech, the incredible save. Chu, the incredible layout block back. And Bile running the disc back one more time for San Diego. Abrams, Elimelech. Helm initially took up, paused, went again, floaty throw, and Hammer with position, able to get the block. Block central at the moment. Impressive from Chu, Bile, Hammer, and Falcons with another break opportunity.
Stats being padded. Down 6, a little under 9 minutes left.
Falcons having to go the full 80. Disc with win, Imanishi. Low throw just about scooped up by Cardenas. And a looping throw. Blocked and caught by Helm. The way throws both ways. Game starting to open up, but reset back to Abrams for
Falcons are going to try to do a lot of flat marks and prevent the boost. Because right with time winding down, you got to start shooting.
And there you go. Ellie Milk over the top to Bile. Can you get there? Not quite. Cardenas just able to get in the way of
gear.
Bile.
Nice gear.
Bile, a former superstar with LA Astra, shifting over to Super Bloom this season after Astra took the season off. So some crossover in that SoCal scene. Bile trying to make an impact, but Cardenas saying not this time. And Chu, players maybe starting to wear it down. It's been quite the back and forth point.
So the interesting thing is the clock continues to run. So you almost want to get to the disc and get it moving.
And
Nice
another
foul.
incredible save by Ali Malik on the throw from Helton. Helton pick call. Disc with Abrams, far side of the field. Our PA announcer here in the stadium saying that, yeah, that wasn't a replay. Just happened again. That's how it goes with Dina. But this time it's Helton to Zentner for the San Diego hold. Because that was just a Super Bloom hold.
It was just a hold. So we'll see what happens. Can the D-line create, Super Bloom D-line create a stop and a score? Can they get a break, a.k.a. break?
And that connection from Helton to Zentner, getting a little bit more of the statistical contributions that we've come to expect. By my count, that was Helton's third assist and Zentner's third goal. So San Diego's star player is starting to step up a bit. But again, 5-point margin with 6:52 left to play in the game. And if the Falcons' offensive line can continue to operate and click at the rate that they've been able to most of the game, it's going to be tough for Super Bloom to make a comeback unless they start to really pile up those break chances.
And some of the rationale might be for the Falcons, if you're going to, work your progressions, burn the clock, and if you get potentially stalled out, boost it and force Super Bloom to come up.
It's going to help to start this possession past half field. The pole just trailing out of bounds as Munson goes over to pick it up and put it into play. And Super Bloom figuring out their matchups, trying to make sure that they have covered who needs covered, but Suji able to get open on Hranek. Munson continues to do. Far sideline. That's Donahue, low throw.
Beautiful find.
Kept in bounds by Wong. Low throw, reset, and just not able to maintain is due. And Agawa takes off deep. But the Falcons defense stymie San Diego initially. Disc far side of the field with Stambaugh. And another high stall hammer, Agawa. Agawa's been a consistent outlet.
He's merit in the game.
And timeout called by San Diego. Both coaching staffs realizing these are the late stages. This is when you need to use it and take the opportunity to call the timeout before another high stall throw. And Super Bloom with a break chance.
So you got to burn it. You've definitely maybe energy preservation to get a break. They score, they go down by 4. 5.5. Can they create something? Some high-level magic to come back from that point? We'll see. Looks like they are subbing deeper in the roster right now.
Yeah, both teams trying to find ways to make it work. And again, with substitutions, San Diego going to once again be able to put out some of their key offensive contributors. And even though they are getting the run point after point, we know that the likes of Elimelech and Helton and Abrams and Igawa can all really make an impact even if they play point after point after point. So they're out there again to try and make some more magic happen, bring the score within 4.
Well-conditioned team. Super Boom, very well-conditioned.
And Donahue on the mark on Helton. We've seen the matchups of Lynn and Donahue be the primary ones to try and slow down Helton.
If you can keep...
And another missed catch by Elimelech. That's at least the second or third of the game. Again, relatively sure-handed. Oh, collision.
Allison Suji.
Suji and the Helton getting tangled. Looks like everyone's okay. Seemed like a pretty big collision, but both players popped up without too much issue. You know, you hate to see some of those just like stone cold drops from some of the best players, but even the best players can have off games, off moments where just a drop in concentration, that's all you need to have just not be able to catch the disc between your hands at the exact right moment and timing. And pressure continues to be put on by San Diego.
Stall.
Stall called. It's going to be a stall uncontested. Turn either way, but disc will go to the far sideline. And Elimelech will put it into play for San Diego. Again, this is still a break chance. Abrams back to the disc. Inside throw, Igawa. Low, inside throw, finds the score. That's Jessica 1 for San Diego, and that is a Super Bloom break. They bring the margin back down to 4, 15-11.
The game is one score from getting really interesting. But right now we'll see chips are on the Falcons to handle their business.
And go again, providing the outlet, finding Juan for her second goal of the game. And trying to pick up the energy if you're the Falcons offense to try and settle in. Crowd starting to get into it as well, trying to cheer their team on, push them over the finish line. These are the danger moments. If you give too much of a window, one break becomes 2 and 3 and so on. So we'll see what the San Diego defense has in store. Great towering pull from Ellie Malik.
I'll go on the limb going, this will be a really interesting point to see.
Chu, marked by Savinsky, center of the field. Low throw, corralled by Imanishi. Continues to Cardenas. Finds Zalk. Chu with momentum.
Falcons in flow.
Reset to Carnahan, able to track it down. Imanishi comes back for the disc. As players were fairly spread out for the Bay Area. Now back to Chu. Bay Area offense selling in.
Carnahan making cuts. Give me the disc.
Imanishi just finding acres of space for Chu. Now Zalk, middle of the field. Carnahan. Small movement, small spaces. Zalk. Pick called. Falcons making it work, finding the openings. Imanishi just a whiz at making sure that she can find the open space to run into.
Really nice small ball.
Now Zalk with the disc. Talking about.
And here's the thing, all this discussion, the clock is running. The clock does not stop with these conversations. So it's to the Falcons' benefit.
High stall. Floaty throw. Nearly reeled in, but blocked. Anderson not quite able to come down with it. And danger moments. And Helm, big bid. Zalk with the pressure, no call. As you said, time continues to run. Carnahan, marked by Ali Melik, near side. Pick called. We are under 2 minutes now. Clock will stop with calls. Win. Team Anishi. Can the Falcons convert the red zone opportunity? Inside throw. Anderson. Oh, foul. No contest. We'll reset the stall count. Can tell that the players are feeling the tension. Anderson. Zalk makes a move. Gets it. Falcons hold just. And it is 16-11, 1:43 left to play.
Anderson to Zalk. So can we talk about what this game will look like? And they roll down to San Diego. San Diego will probably be at strength. Who knows what's going to happen if what happens that might, some of the top players with the Falcons may not make that trip. But if they're strength on strength, it'll be an exciting contest.
So here's the thing. Lawrence. That game doesn't happen until the last week of the season and is part of a doubleheader that the Falcons have to play on the road against both Arizona and San Diego.
Is that the second game of the doubleheader or the first game?
That is the second game of the doubleheader.
You want to bum out a brother here while I'm saying this stuff.
However, trying not to count the chickens, but it is a 5-point lead with 1:43 left to play. Falcons win here would move to 2-1, and that is not a guarantee by any means with 2 games to play against Arizona, but the next game for the Falcons is once again at home against the Sidewinders, and it's a situation where if the Falcons were able to win that game as well, I think it would qualify them to championship weekend. So if they can keep that home cooking going, then they're going to be in a good spot as Lynn rips it down in front of Helton.
So I don't want to diss on the Sidewinders. They lost 2 tight contests against Super Bloom. They are someone that a team that is to be reckoned with. So, no, that will not be an easy win if that happens.
But if the Bay Area can get the job done at home, they will be most of the way home to championship weekend. Inside throw. Falcons on the doorstep of a break that would all but seal it. And Vicky Chen trying to find an option guard by Agawa. And Wataoka just towing it in.
Oh,
Punches it in for the Falcons break. Makes it a 6-goal lead once again.
Nice.
Under a minute to play. That will all but do it for us here in the Bay Area.
I know the coaches are going to be very happy. I went to their practice on Wednesday. There was a lot of energy. There was a lot of joy, a lot of focus for this contest. And the team stepped up, played well. The fans are delighted. The only thing that would make this better if this was Chalupa night, but it's not. No one's taking my idea for that.
If only we could always have what we want here. But hey, the fans here are getting what they wanted. Falcons win all but secured with under a minute to play, a 6-point lead. Again, cannot count anything done in the Southwest Conference, but this is back-to-back home game wins for the Falcons. Big ones, too, against Seattle and San Diego. I don't know if this entirely knocks San Diego off of their perch, but there's Donahue with the run-through. Keeps the energy up. Looking for more are the Falcons. Pugh. Finding Wong. Floaty throw. And denied by double defense from San Diego. I was saying, Lawrence, right? Home, big, decisive home wins. If they can keep that momentum up in their next game against Arizona in 2 weeks' time, they'll be in great position. And San Diego, for the first time all season, has looked truly vulnerable. Aranek lays out for the grab, but out of bounds. And all they need to do is hold it. Eliza Pugh can pick up the disc, put it into play. And that will do it. And it's just a matter of if Falcons want to add to the margin. Away throw. Donahue with all the energy still, even in the waning stages of the fourth quarter.
Falcons running through their progression.
Pugh, Suji near sideline. Back to Pugh. Trying to extend the margin. And able to get his Eliza Chang. Far sideline. Angled throw. And it's a goal. Eliza Chang to Eliza Pugh ends it with a Falcons goal. 18-11. That is back-to-back home wins for the Bay Area Falcons.
The fans are appreciative. Standing ovation. Nice home cooking.
And the Falcons take a big home win, knock off the formerly undefeated, I should say, San Diego Super Blue. 18-11. Falcons took the big lead early and never let up. What made the difference for them in this game, Lawrence? Same sort of thing as last time against Seattle?
D-line. I think the D-line stepping up. They understand that they can get stops. They're athletic. They're very poised on the fast break, and they punch it in. It's defense wins championships, and that's great to see.
Yeah, holding the favorites coming into this season to 11, a game after you held the reigning champions to 10. Albeit both games at home, but impressive results if you're the Falcons. And again, their next game once again at home against the Arizona Sidewinders. And I think a win would put the Falcons into championship weekend. If you can get the job done at home in the Western Ultimate League, you will be in good position to make a championship weekend. And we saw that again today.
Congratulations to Bay Area Falcons. Exciting game. And I'm curious to see how the rest of the season plays out.
And Falcons coming over to celebrate with their home fans. And fans have been treated to some great success so far this season. Great crowd here in the Bay Area. Sun is just about set over the Oakland Hills as Falcons wave to their fans. Falcons, as I said, more games to play. San Diego, just the one against the Bay Area at home. As we start to wrap up here, it's an 18-11 Bay Area Falcons win over San Diego's Super Bloom. Thanks for joining us for Week 6 action in the Western Ultimate League. I've been John Weiner, joined by Lawrence McKendall. We'll catch you next time, a couple weeks, when the Falcons host the Arizona Sidewinders. All right, and we are here for a little post-game interview with Margot Donahue of the Bay Area Falcons. Margot, last point of the game, and you were sprinting down to get the run-through block. What helped you have that energy all the way through the end?
I think I knew it was probably going to be the last point, and so I was just like, I'm going to give it my all, whatever it takes. I love running down on the pole and getting that D, and I was like, this is the point to do it, so send it.
And that's back-to-back big home wins for the Falcons. What has helped y'all be so successful? Pretty good crowd again tonight. It's big change from that Week 1 loss. What's been the shift for the Falcons in the second and third games of the season?
I think playing for this crowd and like our hometown is so special, especially for me. I grew up in the Bay, and so like representing this place that I love so much is really special. And something Slap said to us at halftime was that during halftime there was a bunch of young players, especially like young female players throwing around, and she's like, these are the people that you play for, make them proud. These are like, there's people that look up to you, do it for your fans, and I think that's the biggest thing.
Next game for y'all, once again at home in 2 weeks against the Arizona Sidewinders. A win, from my understanding, would put y'all in the championship weekend. Any thoughts looking ahead to that matchup in 2 weeks?
I can't wait to win. Let's get it. Come out, support us. You make us play better.
Thank you, Margaret Donahue, for the post-game interview. Thank you to everyone at home for watching. And we'll join you next time in 2 weeks for the Bay Area Falcons versus the Arizona Sidewinders.
Can I say hi to my family? My family's watching. I want to say hi. I love you, and thank you for supporting us. All right.
Thanks, y'all. Have a good evening.